Nobody's watching us, dude. This is really embarrassing. Hey, there we go. Hi, Janine. Beginning to wonder if I was going to have to cancel the live stream here. Nobody was here. Hey, John. Starting out slowly today. No, it turned out I didn't get as many days off as I was hoping I was going to get. So I am going to take a little bit of a trip on Wednesday to see something, but that's only to the next town. It just didn't work out this time. I supposedly had 9 days off, but there was like one day where I had to go in for meetings. And then while I was there, I got corralled into coming the next day. And then I had like a day off. Then I had Silo of Screams on Friday and Saturday night. And then I have another meeting on Tuesday. So I got to go back to work on Thursday. So yeah, didn't work out as much as I'd hoped. Good morning, Nancy. Well, I would think that they'd try and get along without me when the plant is closed. I mean, we're in a maintenance interval right now, so they're just sitting there working on the machines. They don't need me, but I guess they do. He just loves the attention, don't you, Bite? Let's see if we can get some of that excess fur off of you, dude. Okay, that's enough. You'll just have to love me for me. Okay, there's 8 people in here. Only 3 people have said things. I want to hear from the rest of you. I chased one of you away. Great. I guess so. I mean, it's not like I can see you or anything. Hey, you right there. You're not talking. What's wrong? Hey, Eric. Been a while. Yeah, that may have happened a little bit, Yvonne. I had a little technology problem when I started up. Uh, if you were here before, like anything more than like a minute or two before I started broadcasting, you were probably waiting on the other live stream I started. I tried to start the live stream. You press the button to start to go live, and it said it had problem making the connection. I tried it over and over and over again, and it wouldn't let me start it. So I had to stop and restart it. So if you were following the old one, that's probably what happened. And that's sort of probably why people are late coming in here. They're trickling in now, realizing because now we're starting to see people in here. No, I didn't see that, Nancy. It's going to be another warm one, but warm now for us is like in the 90s, in the low 90s. So yes, that's a little on the hot side still, but it's better than when it's above 100. Just been doing my thing, Eric. Yeah, that's what I figured happened, Yvonne. Because when I start, you got to remember, you start a live stream and it becomes an individual event. And so if you're watching me, the standby for my live stream screen on this one, and I shut this one down and open up another one, you're not necessarily going to pop over to that one unless you cancel the one you're in. And if it locked up for me, it might have locked up for you too. Or it might have just timed out after a minute and said, oh, this one's no longer active anymore, and it may have dropped you out. 109, 111. That sounds like fun. That's cool that you're doing so much with that, Eric. I think I mentioned this to you once. You really should try and get like an intern over at a television station. I think you can learn a lot. You won't make a lot of money at the beginning, but a lot of times TV stations hire right out of their intern pool. And it really seems like your thing. Pull this a little closer here because I can see. Chad Panther, or is it Chad Panther? No, I've never heard of either. No, no other promotion. The one I got about a year ago. That's where I am now. It's been a year though. I guess I'm probably eligible for another one. I got to stay in a position for a year before I uh, am eligible for another one. It's been a year now almost, but I'm not pursuing anything at this moment. That's interesting, Yvonne. I'd never heard of him. course, I don't really watch anything else on online. I'm not one of those people that go onto YouTube and let's see what I can find. We got a couple of inches of rain this September, but it wasn't a whole lot. Came in about three different storms. Are you getting paid for any of this, Eric? Yeah, it's possible because I was pushing for a promotion about a year ago, and even if you're watching like early videos when I was going for the job, I was talking to that about that somewhat too. Hey, Darth. Hi, Gene. Oh man, I just said it, didn't I? Hi, Gene. Hello, Gene. It's like, how do you not greet your friend named Jack at the airport? You don't say, "Hi, Jack." People tend to get the wrong idea. Yeah, a lot of people died this week. Yeah, don't say you got that idea from me, Darth. And it's almost like Willie Nelson is kind of signaling that he's that his life's coming into an end too. I guess he just released his final album. It was called Last Leaf on the Tree. He had a Flaming Lips cover on it, which is really cool. I kind of get a little news from Willie Nelson now because ever since I saw the Flaming Lips at Willie Nelson's ranch with Jordan about a year and a half ago, we also saw a band called Particle Kid, and I've been following Particle Kid on Facebook, and the singer of Particle Kid is Willie Nelson's son Micah, and so Micah's talking about the new album and all that stuff. Silo Screams was a blast. They had me outside this year, and I had a lot of fun doing that. John was saying, "Oh yeah, you might not get the scares out here." It's like, no, it's just a different kind of scare. You know, there's two types of things that I do at the haunt. One is the jump scare where you hide in a corner in a dark place and then jump at them and go boo, and those are pretty effective. But I also have another kind of scare where I just kind of get in their face and kind of creep them out and start following her down around and doing creepy things. And you can do that when they see you because it makes it more scary when they see you coming at them. Well, I think the whole Pete Rose thing was kind of overblown a little bit. It's not like he was gambling on baseball. He was gambling on sports. That's fine, but I mean, geez, Michael Vick was fighting dogs, and they welcomed him back. You know, half of the football players have been in jail for domestic violence or something like that, and yet they just I mean, granted, I know it's baseball and football, but still, I'm not even really a baseball fan, but it kind of strikes me that it was overblown, and maybe they'll posthumously add him to the Hall of Fame. Yeah, but once again, John, what's how does that compare to what happens today? The standards have loosened so much. At very least, they should have said that we reevaluated based on today's standards, and we're going to lift the ban. Yeah, that little section in the front yard looks really nice right now. I'm eager to see how well that keeps the grass out of there, but it should do well. The grass will still send runners out, but as long as those runners don't take root, it's okay. See, that's how the St. Augustine lawn is really suited to uh, this part of Texas and the heat and the cold, because even if it does get damaged, it kind of refills in real well. You may recall a couple years ago, I cut a tree down in my front yard, and well, a couple months ago, the tree was still starting to throw up, branches and stuff like that. And I said, you know what? I'm just done with it. It's ugly. And I cut it out completely and burned the stump and the whole thing and just kind of covered it up with soil. I think I did like a little mini vlog on that. And it's really cool. The grass is already shooting runners out across that. And so I would guess in a year that's going to be completely filled in again. Yeah, just exactly like a tree. Wait, from Back to the Future, it was like make like a tree and get out of here, right? It's about as funny as a screen door on a battleship. Bite was out here. In fact, Bite's right over here right now. A little bit ago, at the beginning of the live stream, I saw Flash a bit yesterday out in the yard. She's kind of an autopilot pet, so she's very easy to take care of, very low maintenance. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it. I remember hearing about the gambling controversy, and even then, I thought, well, if he was gambling against baseball, I could understand that, but didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. No, I've gone easy on rocks a little bit. What I've been doing, ever since I was in California for my mom's funeral and had to bring all that stuff home, I had to rent a van, and it came kind of had a little bit of a problem with it because I cut up my credit cards like 20 years ago. I just decided I was just going to live on what I had, and that was it. And I haven't had a credit card up until about the start of the year, I guess. And had to get one because of that. And my brother-in-law, who works at Edward Jones, got me a credit card through them. And he says, just use it intelligently. And what he recommended to do is just buy something on it every month and then pay it off every month, and that'll help build up my credit card rating. So, or my credit rating. So what I've been doing is whenever I buy rocks, they're going on the credit card. Uh, yeah. Unfortunately, last two times I went there, I spent a little bit more than I probably should have. So I just wanted to give it a little bit of time to kind of mellow out a little bit. I mean, I paid the card off when the bill came this week, but I don't want to overdo it like that all the time because I can. No, I didn't max it out, not even close, but I just maxed out what I wanted to pay in a month. Well, one of the things that living within my means taught me to do, especially when I was in the Disney years, is it taught me not to just buy the most expensive thing, decide whether I really need it. And, maybe I just needed to do that. Yeah, that's this year he's doing different things, which is kind of cool to bring in viewers. I know he was advertising on like iHeartRadio and giving tickets away. I know one of the times I was out there, he was meeting with his iHeart representative. Uh, but he also set up a couple of like selfie screens over there where he had, just a wall that people that was lit up that people could go in there and pose with some of the monsters. And he was doing that this year. And I thought that was a really great idea because that was very popular. People like doing that. And in fact, he had, on a couple of nights, he actually had a couple of cast members that would just hang out at the selfie area and take people's pictures for him. And so that was a really great, real great idea. And because I was working outside rather than inside the maze, I could break character a little bit and have fun with people. When I'm in the silo, when I'm in one of the mazes, I don't ever break character, and I could do that outside. People come up to me, hey, you want to take a picture? Yeah, sure. Now you take the knife and pretend like you're killing me, that kind of thing. And had a lot of fun doing that. No, it's always a little slow at the start of season. I didn't vlog anything at the silo this year, though. I'll never tell if this is my real personality or not. I'm like Andy Kaufman. I don't have a real personality. They cut everyone's hours at Disney. They just decided one year we're not going to do parades at California Adventure this year. So once the Christmas season was over, that was it. There was nothing until Christmas season picked up again the following year, and then right after that, COVID hit, and so man, I dodged a bullet with that, didn't I? I was a very lucky punk. No, because I was never unemployed during COVID. In fact, COVID actually benefited me because there were so many people that weren't going to work during that time that the company actually gave you bonuses if you did go to work. And so, yeah, I got a number of bonuses just because I was showing up for work. So, yeah, no, COVID. I'm one of the lucky people, definitely. A lot of people had their lives destroyed by COVID. I was not one of those. In fact, the only time I wasn't allowed to come back to work or wasn't allowed to go to work was when I came back from my father's funeral. You remember the day I started at this place, the night before my father had passed away. So, like 2 or 3 weeks later, we buried him, and my parents and my mom arranged it so the funeral would be on one of my off days, so I could go there and still get back to work. And the day I got back to work, the night before I came back to work, my boss called me on the phone and says, "We're really kind of freaking out a little bit about this COVID thing. Have you left the state?" And I said, "Yeah, I was in California over the last couple of days." And they said, "Okay, you're on quarantine for 2 weeks." And I was on quarantine, but I still got paid. So, like I said, it didn't affect me at all. I was very, very lucky. It is. It's yeah. I'm very lucky because, like I said, a lot of people were a lot worse off than I was. Well, and if I think I talked about it at the time. When I went back for my father's funeral. Everything was starting to get really, really creepy at that point. Um, and I actually ended up leaving and going home a day early just because I thought California was going to lock things down. I wasn't going to be able to get out. It was starting to look that way. And the hotel we were in was booked at maybe 5%. Most of the place was abandoned. So, well, I'm done with Silo now. I'm not going to be able to do any more this year because I start going back to work, and that's Silo is going on Fridays and Saturdays, and I'm working Fridays and Saturdays, and I just can't do it anymore. But we've been on maintenance interval at work, and it just turns out that has corresponded with the first couple of days of Silo. So did that last year, did it this year, and hopefully that will continue because I have a kick. I get a kick out of doing Silo. Yeah, my mom, because yeah, you remember, it was the week or so before my father died that my mom moved into into what was going to be their assisted living apartment. They were both going to move in together. My father never made it, and within a couple of weeks, they locked down that place, and my mom was locked in her room for like 6 months after that. Didn't get to come out for meals. It was a very miserable and very depressing time for my mom. And after they kind of loosened things up a little bit, my mom moved out and she moved up north to be closer to my sister, so my sister could at least see her. Ultimately, he had back problems from about his 40s on, and he was on medication for it, but he took a little bit too much of it, and it destroyed his kidney and destroyed his liver, and ultimately he just Just had all sorts of problems in the last few months. He ultimately died of sepsis. My mom always said it was good that my dad went when he did because with COVID coming, that would have taken him probably. Yeah, it was literally just a couple of weeks before. In fact, I think we were hearing a little bit about it at the time when he was going, but it got bad like within a couple of weeks of him going, to the point, where 3 weeks later or so when we did the funeral, um, my mother's brother and my sister-in-law didn't even come to the funeral because they were paranoid about COVID. No, I think he probably overworked it. I don't know if there was any kind of an injury. I'm not aware of any. I always remember he had back problems even when he was young. Yes, they did, Gene. A lot of people got paranoid. To my knowledge, I've never had it. If I did, it was so asymptomatic, I didn't realize I had it. There's a couple points where in the last few years, like I lose my voice or something like that, but that's usually the worst of it. I have back pain sometimes, but it's usually when I've exerted myself. Good morning, Connie. Yeah, the thing is, this wasn't anything like the Black Plague. The Black Plague killed most people that it infected. Even at its worst, COVID killed what, 0.1% of the population of the people that got it. Well, even when they were talking about this, what, 14 days to flatten the curve thing, I was thinking right off the bat, that's not going to do anything any good. All that, if any effect it's going to have, it'll slow down infections for a couple of weeks. But the second people start getting back together again, this thing's part of our planet now. We're going to have to learn to live with it. Who's winning, John? Well, I'm not even a doctor, and I knew the 14 days to flatten the curve wasn't gonna do anything. Just like I saw when people smoking cigarettes wearing masks, and the smoke was coming through the mask. It's like, wait, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't the virus like 1/100th the size of a smoke particle? 20-17 Vikings. All right. I'm not really a football person, but My family's all out of Minnesota, so if I'm gonna take a side, it's gonna be the Vikings. Oh, saying that the virus came from a lab, that would get you censored a couple years ago. I would have to block you, Yvonne. Well, there were people at the beginning that said that this looked like something that was engineered. It looked like gain of function. Oh, I see. Bites in the hall. But it wasn't lab leak. It was bat soup. Not entirely, Janine. It came from China, but it was funded by the U.S. See, we're not allowed to do gain of function research here, so they paid to have China do it. Great job, Fauci. You've contributed so much to the American people. Yeah, I know. I saw that this morning. They say, "Oh, there's a new virus we got to worry about." Yeah, I know. It's election time. Got to lock us into our houses and get everyone to do mail-in ballots and ballot harvesting and all that stuff so we can win. The Democrats are in trouble right now. Quick, pull out the next Wuhan virus. Yeah, I know. I got one jab and that was it. And I did it. I got it under false pretenses though too, because work said if you got the jab, you didn't have to wear a mask anymore. It's like, okay, I'll get the jab. And then a couple of weeks later, when I got to take my mask off, and then a couple of weeks later, it's like, no, even if you've had the jab, you got to get you. So I took an experimental drug to get something, and now you're not going to give it to me. I've never taken a flu shot, so if not for the fact that they promised I could lose the mask, I never would have done it. Yeah, no, me either. Jeez. Okay, that's even worse than what happened to me. They just lied to me about a mask. They lied to you get the jab or you lose your job and then you lose your job anyway. Yeah, I never had any symptoms from when I got mine. I did the Johnson and Johnson one, so there was only one jab for me. Yeah, none of that. I didn't experience any symptoms from the jab. It wasn't required, but it was provided for free. And like I said, the promise was you take the jab, you don't have to wear your mask anymore. Yeah, I don't know if there's a relationship between that or something else, but yeah, there are a whole bunch of people that young people that just drop dead for no apparent reason. Was it by design? I doubt it. It was a stupid mistake that got made, and then they took advantage of it. I don't think the government's competent enough to do something like that intentionally. I'm sure Bill Gates is on that list. Do you ever notice that the environmentalists who are really degrowthers are always advocating that we need to eliminate like 80% of the world's population, but they're never on the list of the eliminated? Yeah, right. See you, Tracy. Thanks for stopping in. Well, they call themselves environmentalists because it polls a lot better to say you care for the environment than that you think most of the world's population needs to be exterminated. It just doesn't poll too well with people for some strange reason that I've never been able to understand. It's a great movie. Yeah, yeah. I took him down to the dump about a week ago. I've never actually seen the Omega Man, but it's one I want to go check out at some point. I have fun doing that too, Brad. I mean, you heard the story of that. Yeah, I guess I've heard of that too, Yvonne. That's kind of gross. Yeah, I probably should. Ray Bradbury. That's Ray Bradbury, isn't it? Or is it Michael Crichton? I think it's Bradbury. Richard Matheson. Okay. What are my favorite sci-fi movies? Aliens is a good movie. Star Wars, obviously, for the first couple, for episodes 4, 5, and 6. After that, forget it. Star Trek, I'm a Star Trek nerd. Um, let's see, what else do I like? Galaxy Quest, that's a good one. Never saw Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I like Westworld, yeah. Westworld's a good movie. Yeah, I mean, I guess you got to think of Terminator too. That was amazing. I remember seeing that and being just amazed how great that movie was. The original Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger was a good one. I never saw Scanners. I remember it being out, but I wasn't the kind of movie I was into at the time it was out. It was That's something if I found it on Netflix or something, I'd probably watch it. Yeah, Terminator's great though. Terminator is James Cameron, same guy did Titanic and all that. That was one of his first movies, and it's amazing. In terms of the Terminator movies, one and two, stick with those. Both of them are Cameron. Yeah, I've got a few of them. I mean, what was I think it was like the fourth one, the one where a human cyborg that doesn't know he's a cyborg meets Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor. That was a good one. No, actually, no. Well, it didn't meet Sarah Connor. Sarah Connor was dead at that point. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen Rhonda. Sometimes she'll say on Facebook whether she's going to be there. I didn't see anything this time. Yeah, Fahrenheit 50, 451. That's a great book and a great movie. Martian Chronicles too. I think I have an autographed copy of the Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. I was taking a science fiction class, I think in junior high, and we were reading Martian Chronicles. And the teacher announced that Ray Bradbury was going to be at a local library autographing books, and we'd all been handed paperback copies of the book, and we were told if you replace it, you could bring this book over, have him autograph it, keep it, and then replace it. And so I did that. Yeah, I think it was the Illustrated Man I was thinking of, not the other one, not the Omega Man. Okay, Vikings won, huh? All right. Yay, Vikings. Are you talking about my Ray Bradbury book? Never seen Interstellar. See, that would have been way more exciting than if Rhonda was hopped up on pain meds. That'd be amazing live stream. Yeah, I've been thinking I wanted to see Gattaca too. That's Michael Crichton. I know that. I didn't realize it until I saw some of these movies. Michael Crichton seems to write a lot about technology running amok. Jurassic Park. It's about them cloning dinosaurs and dinosaurs running amok. Westworld. It's about a world filled with robots that will cater to you ever need, and the robots run amok. Gattaca's about genetic engineering and that running amok. Species, great movie. I haven't watched it in a long time, but that's a great movie. Scary. Total Recall, yeah, it took me a little while to get into that one. But yeah, that has its moments. The House of Drip Blood. I don't think I've ever even heard of that one. Yeah, Tingler. I think I got a copy of the Tingler. Yes, Silo Screams is Breck running amok, definitely. But that wasn't written by Michael Crichton. Jordan got me into the Tingler. Man, I never saw Village to the Damned. I haven't seen Tingler in a long time, though. I think I got it on DVD somewhere, probably in my inactive box. Thinner. The book was better than the movie. I always liked the idea of Vincent Price, but I never really saw a whole bunch of movies with him. In fact, the only thing I really know Vincent Price from was Edward Scissorhands, and he's just such a beloved character in that. Nothing like the characters he played in his monster movies. But I've seen The Fly and House on Haunted Hill and what it was the Tingler. Like I said, Jordan was a huge Vincent Price fan. I mean, I guess he still is. He's not dead or anything. Jordan, I mean, not Vincent. Yeah, yeah, he was into art. That's true. I remember that too. I think he had like an art line that he sold in the Sears catalog. And then, of course, remember? Who can forget the commercial? Who knows what evil lurks in your plumbing? As he's sailing around your toilet bowl in a rowboat. Yeah, yeah, voice of Thriller. In fact, I've got a limited edition, like 40th anniversary edition of that. Apparently, the whole line that Vincent says, there's actually a third verse in there that is bonus material on this disc I have. I also got a chance to meet Vincent's daughter once. In fact, I got a picture of her up on the board here. I think it's that picture right there of me and his daughter Victoria. And we were talking to her, and she said she always felt that Vincent always felt that he got ripped off a little bit because seeing how popular that Michael Jackson's Thriller song became, he thought he deserved some more money for that. Well, I've been lucky too because of Jordan. I've gotten to meet a lot of fun people. I like it so much better when I kind of like the celebrity to begin with. Yeah, not wigged out on drugs. Speaking of actors and musicians wigged out on drugs, I met Eddie Van Halen once, actually twice. It was when I was working at Warner Brothers, and we were manufacturing one of Van Halen's albums. This would have been probably I started there in '97, ended about 2004, so somewhere in that range. And Eddie had come into the facility and was listening to discs coming right off the line. We were bringing them into the sound room we had there, and playing the CDs for him. And he was there 2 days in a row, and obviously wigged out on drugs the whole time because both days he was wearing the same clothes. Very talented man, but yeah, sad ending. I think the book Salem's Lot was better than the movie. I can't point to a whole lot of Stephen King movies that the movie is as good as the book. I know Jordan did that. I went with Jordan on his run one night, uh, and yeah, he was delivering to people all over the place. I know. I remember him talking about how he had met Gabe Kaplan doing that because he was delivering food to him, and he'd also met Quentin Tarantino. And I guess Quentin Tarantino had the that yellow pickup truck from Kill Bill. You know what I'm talking about without me describing what was written on the back. Yeah, for a long time, I was a huge Stephen King fan. I read everything, and I still think my favorite book of his is The Stand. I don't know if he was delivering food to Shelley at the time. I don't know if that was part of that. Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember hearing that, but I know he met Shelley in other ways, another way. I didn't go on a whole lot of hikes with Jordan. We went sometimes. A lot of times it was just taking Jaw out and taking him out for a walk. Yeah, I kind of stopped reading King there for a while too, because yeah, I just you know there's actors, there's writers, there's celebrities that I really like what they do, but the second I find out how hateful they are, I can't watch them anymore. Tim Robbins used to be one of my favorite actors. He's great in everything I've ever seen him in, but he became a left wing wacko, and it just such a turnoff. Because I thought that she'd gone into what was that famous cafe that he was working at? Um, I can't remember, but I thought he'd met her that way. I don't know. Well, and to kind of put the period on the end of that sentence, Gene, I remember what was the woman who played Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games. She was also a Mystique in the later version of Jennifer Lawrence. That's her name. That she had once said that her role as Katniss Everdeen in Hunger Games was the first time uh, a woman was ever put in an action role. And everyone pointed out, yeah, what about Sigourney Weaver and Aliens? What about all these other actresses that were doing action adventure games, action adventure movies before she ever came along. And then she replied back and says, "Yeah, I guess maybe I shouldn't have said that. I mean, the truth is, I only got like a sixth grade education. It's like, then why are you talking about anything?" Oh yeah, I agree with you there too, Gene. Uh, Whoopi Goldberg, I loved her as a comedian. She was great in The Player. She was great in Ghost. I'm a Star Trek nerd, so I loved her as Guinan. But I can't stand her anymore. In fact, I heard when they brought back the whole crew of the Enterprise D for Star Trek Picard, she was the one person they didn't bring back because they didn't want her negativity on set. The what I think about on this is, when there's something that I need for my life, from my, to improve my life or something like that, something that's important to me. I sometimes have to bite my tongue and do business with somebody that maybe I don't agree with. But I can live without watching movies. I can live without turning on the TV. And so that makes celebrities, you know, completely optional. If I don't like them, it's like, okay, we're done. They never figure that out. Agreed, Gene. Yep, that's the great thing about the remote control. I just don't think you can be a really good actor if you have contempt for your audience. Yeah, and I got to think, my favorite actors out there are the ones that I don't know what their political opinions are. You mean people who actually do things, Gene? A lot of times, Nancy, I think they just heard people tell them they're great so many times that they've come to believe it, and that the world is interested in everything they burp up. Yeah, there's someone else who burps up things, and we want to know their opinion. So I finally did watch the vice presidential debate. Was that embarrassing or what? I don't know. We'll see about vacation. Yeah, Bite was here a little bit ago, but you got to kind of be here at the beginning if you want to see Bite because he kind of tends to go back in his room. I don't know. Let's see if we can summon him out. I hear cats jumping off shelves in there. Let's see if we can get him to visit us here. There he is, peering around the corner. Come on, Bite. They want to see you. No? You're just a horrible co-host. Yes, you are. Yeah, I heard that. I heard the Elmer Fudd reference too. No, that's not old man time. That's just Bite. He's just an old man. He had a total deer in the headlights look the whole night too. It was kind of like, oh my God, they're looking at me. Yeah, I know that was the greatest line of all. Oh yeah, I've made friends with school shooters. That and that he's a knucklehead. I agree with that. Oh, there's Bite. Maybe he'll come visit us here. Come on, Bite. Come on, buddy. Up here. Come on. There's our buddy. Yeah, he comes out from time to time. It cooks him out with a kitty treat. So no, no, haven't done anything right now with the hole where the pool was. If I do something there, I'm gonna like build up a brick elevated planter and put trees in there. And that's becoming an increasing likelihood of what's going to happen at that point. Kind of leaning away from the pool. Okay, I guess he's going to ditch us here. Yeah, he's my buddy. I guess I didn't watch Saturday Night Live during that era. Give me Gilda Radner and Jane Curtin and Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, Chevy Chase, Bill Murray, Eddie Murphy. Classic SNL. Yeah, I agree, Yvonne. Definitely. Flash is good. I saw her a little bit yesterday, kind of cruising around the yard. Posted a video on Facebook a couple of days ago that was like 30 seconds long. And it says, "You got quite the life there, Flash. This is where you sleep. This is where you eat and poop. Eat or sleep, poop." Yeah, I'm actually looking for something that's gonna provide some fruit, though. I mean, I guess cherry trees that produce cherries, but in terms of needing cherries, there aren't really a whole lot of times where I eat cherries. I want something that I'm going to eat: apples, oranges, peaches, maybe some lemons. Dana did a good George Bush too. Yeah, but I wasn't really watching Saturday Night Live during Dana Carvey. I like some of the things that kind of came out of that. I liked Wayne's World, the movie. That was a great movie. Oh yeah, I've seen Jeff Dunham do dress Walter up as Joe Biden. Yeah, the church lady was another good one. Isn't that special? It's crazy that Biden actually won the first term. It really says so much about people that just dislike Trump so much that they'd vote for a dementia patient. Yeah, I know. I think back of some of the Saturday Night Live sketches from like the early 80s, late 70s. They were awesome. Good seeing you, Gene. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I disavow any Kamala ads. I see the ads when they're coming up. There's a little 60-second countdown timer that appears on the screen for me. It says, "Hey, an ad's coming up in 60 seconds," and so I know when you're going to get them. I think they got to get out of the politics because they're just not funny anymore. It's all about bashing Republicans and all that. It's like nobody finds that funny. Not even the people that hate Republicans are find it that funny. I don't know. Maybe just a hamburger. I haven't really done a whole lot this week in terms of cooking. Eating's been really erratic. What with going to Silo at night, but a burger does sound good. No, I don't have TV anymore, so no, probably not gonna either go out or take in tonight. Pizza does sound good, but no, I kind of like to just chill at home or stuff like that. Cook my own dinner. And no, it isn't too hot for that because I don't stand out there and hover over the grill. I put something on, you know, put it on the grill, close the lid, come back in a few minutes, flip it. So I'm inside most of the time. Fewer numbers of people here than usual. I wonder if they're still waiting for the live stream to start. Jeff is back from Hawaii now, so he hasn't stepped in either. Is it me or did the flag? Just something walk in front of the flag there. Oh, that was Bite. I saw the flag behind me kind of like dim, like somebody walked in front of it. I guess it was Bite walking in front of the light. I've done Texas Roadhouse. It's good food. That was right at the beginning though, because that was that was the day I'd come home. It was in the middle of summer, the first year I was here, and I had driven up to Temple to empty out uh, the pod storage units. And I was what I'd done is, I'd been unhappy with the way pods dealt with me, so I decided to pull, just to break all ties with them. And I went and pulled the stuff out of my pods. It took about 4 trips going from Temple to here and put stuff in a storage locker. And one of the days I came back, I was so hot and so dehydrated and so hungry that I didn't feel like doing anything. So I just went to Texas Roadhouse and filled up that night. Boy, was that good. And then we went again a year or so later. Was here one time, and he had just hit 100,000 subscribers, so we went and celebrated that. Oh, I'm sure there is. Texas Roadhouse is they got all the good, kind of country comfort foods that you'd have. Steaks and hamburgers and chicken fried steak and chicken fried chicken and all that good stuff. I don't really go out to lunch that much, or go out for meals. It's just a lot easier to cook at home. I don't know if we've got a Longhorn Steakhouse here. Let's find out. Longhorn Steakhouse. Yes, there is one in Waco. Let's see where it is here. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, I know where that is. So yeah, we got Longhorns here. Yeah, I mean, I don't eat out a lot. It's a lot easier, I think, just to cook at home. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I will check out Longhorns. There's another place I've heard people talk about, Saltgrass Steakhouse, that's supposedly really good. And I guess there's one of those here too. Yeah, it's just too much work. And I'm an introvert anyway. I kind of like avoiding people. Every time I turn around, there's more I like about Waco. There just aren't really a whole bunch of things that I say, yeah, I can't stand that about this place. It's quiet. It's I've said this before. It's small enough that Act has the feel of a small town, um, feel to it, but it's still big enough that it has everything you need. Yeah, yeah, we're pretty good with anything beef related. Yeah, yeah, we're pretty good with anything beef related. Yeah, but in Texas, I could get that isolation without being locked in. I felt like going out and hiking. It wasn't a problem. If I felt like going to Home Depot, I went to Home Depot. Yes, it is. It is. It has been a really good place to collect rocks. But that's totally been because of the rock shows and Gallery 11. My buddies at Gallery 11. Yeah, New Mexico is kind of a nice place. It's a little too dry, I think, for me. Too much desert. I like the fact that Texas is so green. Yeah, I thought White just walked in front of the light again because now he's over here. You gonna come up and visit? Gonna make his third visit of the day here. Come on, buddy. Ow. Yeah, there he is. Hey, buddy. I don't know. I haven't really found a really good taco place yet. Yeah, he's a good boy, aren't you? No, just when the live streams are on. She has kind of run of the house during the night when I'm not, when I'm in bed or during the day when I'm at work. So I see her out all the time. She just doesn't come out anymore for the live streams. One of the houses, a couple houses down, has a bunch of inflatable things out, but I haven't really seen a whole lot of Halloween displays yet. I'm thinking I'm going to start a little bit on mine. What I start doing is I'll start putting the purple lights out. That just lets people know it's like, hey, it's coming, people. I may actually have the ghosts in the window before too long too. Yeah, we're gonna dye all of Bite's fur black so he can be a black cat for Christmas or for Halloween. Oh yeah, they still go. They still go in the bathtub whenever they're freaked out. They hear the thunder, anything like that, or if I'm doing anything in their room. No, I don't think we'll do anything with the Venus flytrap. No one comes that far up the walkway. You know, I tend to stop people at the street and then just I'll sit on the porch with a table and stuff like that and go down to them. But basically, everything's in the front of the house. Ugh, got cat fur. You shed like crazy, bite. What I do is I get what I like. That way, if there's anything left over, you know, it's stuff I like. I don't think I'd get them to put up with a hat, a cape, and with red lining. I don't know. I just don't think they'd get into that. And a broomstick, yeah, I don't know. Not really sure they'd play into that very well. Arrgh. Are all the clocks going off? I'm trying to get them separated a little bit so they're not all going off at once. I guess I didn't quite get it this time here. I thought it'd be fun to make a maze. Probably do something on the driveway. But the problem then becomes where do I put it when I'm not using it? Shiver me kitties, huh? Is that how it is, Bite? I'm sure it'll work just as well as it worked in the Terminator or on the Matrix movies. Shh, don't tell it, Yvonne. It might get revenge on you. So it looks like some of you are going to see an ad in a couple of seconds. If it's a Kamala ad, I apologize. Yeah, when we get closer to Christmas, I'll put up the train again. It's kind of cool. Every time when I go to the rock and mineral shop, they give me what they call a lucky scoop. They got just like a dish with all sorts of like little polished pebbles and stuff like that in it. And they got this little scoop and they'll pour it into a bag for you. Well, as time's gone by, my lucky scoop bowl has gotten to be pretty big. And they you know, sometimes give me options of what things I want. I was like picking out little of something like something I saw in there that was pretty cool. And they said, "Yeah, hold on a second." And they went over to one of their cupboards and they pulled out this bag full of this stuff I was picking out of there, and they just gave me that. So I got a couple things like that. I think they'll probably end up being part of the decoration on the train set. Obama ad, oh man, that's even worse. Okay, well, pool supply. I mean, that maybe he doesn't apply too much to me anymore because I don't have a pool at the moment. But if you have a pool, feel free to frequent those guys. Same with retirement homes, if that's what you're in the need in the market for. I could have financed it, but I decided to go just get it out of the way. That was 8 grand. I wish I could have spent somewhere else. Yeah, Lindex, haven't seen you in a bit. Yeah, I know. Keep Jeff in your thoughts. Well, we're glad you're back, Lindex. Well, I mean, I look at stuff like this as like it's an investment in the future. It's like I shouldn't have to deal with air conditioner now for the rest of my life because it's brand new everything. That was the same approach when I had the sewer line problem in the first couple months in the house, and they had to tunnel under the house. I figured, I don't want to do this, but let's get it out of the way, and then I won't have to worry about it again. Jeff's been in Hawaii for a couple of weeks, so I don't know. He may have. He usually after he does his church service, he'll go out for lunch. So maybe he's just been so craving for a after church lunch here that he went straight there, and we just missed him. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I hope, Gene. I won't have to worry about it again. That's the thing you run into with houses. Houses are they cost money, and you just got to be ready for that. Well, that's why you got to come in more frequently, Lindex, so you can kid around with Darth. I mean, that's the only reason I'm here. I don't know. I haven't heard anything more about. He did say talk something about a lawsuit, but I don't know. I haven't heard what happened on that. But that's part of the fun. That's part of owning a house. Welcome to home ownership, Jordan. Things go out, and a lot of the things that go out cost a lot of money. Well, and that's part of the problem. He bought a house. I guess the people didn't install the stuff correctly. And so that's part of the problem. I mean, solar has its uses. I've got, one section of my roof that would be ideal for solar panels. And I've thought about it to augment it, not because it's a replacement for anything, but because it would help, augment the cost a little bit. I thought about sizing down to a tent. No, I have a tent. I'm content with it being in the garage. That's just for the inverter, I think. And he's going to go up there and have all the electrical connections redone. So yeah, it's quite a bit. And even then, I thought when I heard $7,100 for a whole house inverter, it's like that seems pretty low. Yeah, I got kind of burned doing that once. The apartment that I lived in when I moved here, I basically got it out off the internet too. Didn't see it until I walked in the first time. It's like, and only then I do it. Did I after spending a few days there did I find out what kind of a dump it was. It was funny too. I talked to the landlord uh, about the problems I was having, and she was saying, "Oh darn, I thought this was the showcase of our unit." Now my understanding is it came with the house. And I know he had a good inspection done because uh, he actually sent me the inspection, had me look at it. And yeah, there were some issues that he had to deal with, but I didn't see anything about the solar panels. It was talking about there were some areas around the pool he had to fix. It talked about some of the trees that needed some work, but I didn't see anything about the solar system. Yeah, but solar technology has gotten so much better. I mean, there was technically a solar panel on the roof in my house in California. It didn't do like solar energy like people thought, but what it was is something to augment the heater in the water heater. But it failed before too long. You got to be really careful right now. There's a lot of fraudsters out there doing this solar panel stuff. There's a bunch of free government money, so if I was going to do it, I'd want to own it outright. A lot of times, these solar things, what you do is you get stuck into a plan where the company owns the solar panels, and then you pay for electricity from them, and it's at a greatly reduced rate because of the solar. But it becomes more complicated when you want to move because now the solar company's got to get involved with the whole process to transfer the lease over to the new owner. Another bad ad coming. Yeah, hopefully this isn't going to be as bad of a hurricane. Last I heard, they're projecting it's going to be a Category 2 when it makes landfall. Guess that means it's one. Darth is stepping out on us here. Air Care ad, okay. Well, that's okay. It's okay to sponsor, to support my sponsors. They're helping to give me the $2.50 I'll earn from this live stream. That's a whopping $1.25 an hour. Woohoo! What will I buy first? I got to go back to work on Thursday, and then we're back in a normal work mode. Now I got to go in for a meeting on Tuesday, so yeah, that's kind of a drag. All right, you won the lottery, Gene. Yeah, right. You're right. I might be able to buy a candy bar. It makes it enjoy my remaining days. Sounds like I'm dying. Anyway, we put in our 2 hours today, so I'm going to pull the plug on this thing right now. We'll pick this up again next week, and we'll see you then. Thanks everyone for watching. Had a good time. Good night.